Hello, everyone. So let's look at Hertz Global Holdings. This is our agendas. And Hertz is a world-famous car rental giant. Currently, they are going through a difficult operational restructuring. So on financial report 2025, Hertz reported $8.5 billion in revenue, which is much lower than main competitor Avis. And more importantly, the company suffered $747 million net loss. So it's mainly due to a failed growth strategy. As you can see from the bottom, the ends of metrics, Hertz tried to massive move into EVs, but this failed. Now the turnaround strategy is simple. They are selling off their unprofitable EV fleets, absorbing the losses and returning to traditional internal combustion engine vehicles just to survive. So we've used Porter's 5 forces, and the supply power is high, and Hertz was heavily exposed to Tesla's price changes. And for the industry, rivalry is high. Hertz is losing efficiency battle to competitors like Avis and Enterprise. The buying power is high because customers are very price sensitive and can easily switch to other brands. So for the stress of new entrants is only low because starting a car rental company requires a lot of capital and global infrastructure.
Thanks. So we've identified 3 critical strategic risks facing Hertz, each one threatening the company's capital structure, competitive positioning, or brand equity at a fundamental level. Next slide. Hertz emerged from bankruptcy in 2021, but has not been profitable since 2022, is carrying $16.3 billion in debt, more than its entire annual revenue, and both the S&P and Fitch have downgraded it to a B- with a negative outlook. That's deep junkie territory, and borrowing is getting more expensive at exactly the wrong time. Next slide. On the downside, Hertz faces over $500 million in additional lawsuits, tightening debt covenants, and only $1.5 billion in liquidity. Any macro shock could trigger a second bankruptcy. On the upside, Bill Ackman's Pershing Square took a 19.8% stake in April of 2025, and Hertz improved profitability by $2 billion year over year. If they can refinance near-term debt, this is survivable. Next slide. Fresh out of bankruptcy, Hertz ordered 100,000 Teslas. It became a $2.9 billion disaster. Repair costs were double those of gas cars. Consumer demand was far weaker than expected, and Tesla's own price cuts wiped out the resale value of Hertz's fleet, forcing them to replace 60% of all of their vehicles. Next slide. The lasting damage isn't just financial. While Hertz was in damage control, Avis secured a Waymo partnership. Hertz is now structurally behind in the autonomous vehicle race. The upside is that the EV sellout is complete. Depreciation is back on target at 300 per vehicle per month, and their fleet is the youngest it's been in a decade. Next slide. So the third risk is reputational. Hertz has had 2 major national scandals in 3 years, a $168 million settlement for falsely arresting customers, and now a congressional investigation into AI. Damage scanners that build customers with no human review. In a commoditized market, these aren't just PR problems, they're directly cost revenue. Next slide. So the downsides are cumulative. Enterprise dominates the trust, and each scandal gives corporate clients a reason to switch. But the upside is that these are self-inflicted wounds, which means they're fixable. Their net promoter score already improved by 50% in 2025. Adding human oversight and AI scanner alone could turn it from a liability into a differentiator. Next slide. So a debt wall filled with EV debt and a damaged brand. Now let's look at how Hertz can mitigate each of these risks.
Now, let me show the risk mitigation techniques. And for the first risk, the Hertz should act faster to protect its cash position. The company should refinance near-term debt as early as possible and extend the mature data. And this can reduce the short-term pressure. And Hertz should also control the capital spending more strictly and keep clear cash limits. In addition, the company should run monthly stress tests for the problem like recession and price decline and lower residual value. Finally, Hertz should improve the field utilization and use the more disciplined pricing and control costs better. And this step matter because they reduce the liquidity pressure and improve financial flexible and lower the chance of any other slope increases. Next one, please. For risk two, the herd should more careful strategy, and instead of making one very large bet again, and it should start with small pilot projects, and it should also use the supply diversification, and so it does not depending too much on one car maker. And Hertz should adopt more flexible field contracts and should build the needed charging, repair, and customer supporting system before expanding EV business again. It should also look for the strategy partner in EV field services, and this action can reduce the capital allocation mistakes and improve the field flexible and help Hertz react faster to market demanding and resell the value changes. Next one, please. For the risk three, the Hertz must rebuild the trust. Any AI-based damage charge should go through the manual review before it's sent to customers. The company should also create a clear and fair dispute processes and strengthen the customers' protection policies and train the staff better. At the same time, it Hertz needs stronger AI governance standards and a trust building program focused on the service, customers, and business relationships. This step can reduce the harm to customers, improve fairness, and help the Hertz rebuild trust with both retired and business customers. So welcome to the next part.
Thank you, Yuntao. So first, let's examine Hertz's aggressive strategy. In a bold attempt to lead in sustainability, Hertz made a massive investment by purchasing 100,000 Teslas. From a strategic risk perspective, this was a high impact for first mover gamble. By doing this, Hertz took the entire residual value risk onto its own balance sheet. They assumed the market would stay stable and demand would be high. However, they failed to account for market volatility. Next slide, please. In contrast, AVs follow a much more disciplined and risk-averse strategy. Instead of reacting to the market hype, AVs use a wait-and-see approach, ensuring their fleet was aligned with real customer demand. The core of their success is their superior fleet asset management and the use of program cars. These are vehicles purchased with warranty buyback agreements from manufacturers. By using these contracts, AVs effectively transfer the risk of depreciation away from their balance sheet. This strategy choice creates a financial shield, allowing AVs to maintain stability during 2024 and 2025 while its competitors struggle. Next slide, please. Next one, please. So when we evaluate the outcomes, it is clear that Hertz's strategy was a significant failure in both development and execution. The risks they ignored become a reality. Customer demand was lower than projected and repair costs were much higher. This forced Hertz to liquidate 20,000 electric vehicles, one-third of their EV fleet, at a massive loss. This failure resulted in $245 million depreciation charge and a total loss of investor confidence. The crisis was so severe that it forced the resignation of their CEO in 2024. Next slide, please. Okay. On the other hand, AVs has proven that the strategy, discipline, and operational excellence drive long-term success by maintaining a flexible fleet and avoiding high costs and proving strategies. AVs report strong profit margins and record high utilization rates in 2024. Their success proved a core principle of this course. In a capital-intense industry, protecting against the downside is often more valuable than aggressive innovation. Thanks to their mature risk culture, AV successfully navigated the industry transition without a financial drama seen at Hertz. Next slide, please.
So our investment recommendation is have been long on Avis budget and avoiding Hertz because Avis, they choose a conservative fleet model and this protects them from the price shock that hurt Hertz. However, Hertz took an aggressive unhedged gamble on EVs. So Avis is more stable and profitable while Hertz is currently too risky. And these are our references.
Thank you so much.
And this is
Thank you.
contact
Thank you.
information. All right.
Thanks.
Recording.